Welcome to the happy hour, everybody, right here at Sirius XM Fly HB on this Talk About It Tuesday. I've been talking about this all night. He is here. S. Dot didn't let me down. Y'all make some noise for 50. Woo! All right.
We here.
And you here. Ever since S. Dot, who's the program director here, told me that you was coming, I was like, this is going to be very interesting because I have a story to tell you.
Okay.
We've never met before, but we've spoken on the phone several times. About 17 years ago, you used to call my house. Not to speak to me. Don't get nervous.
No.
Do you remember this? You used to call my house and used to say, hello, how you doing? Is Horse there?
Yeah.
And in the back of my mind, I used to be like, I'm about to marry this dude, and his friends just keep calling people that I don't know.
Listen. We had, at that point, it was like, Nas, even when I was angry with him, it was because of how I perceived him.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You see what I'm saying? It was because I looked like, when we came in, it was like, he was ahead of us. Like, as a writer, he was ahead of us. And then we was around the culture and in it because we were there all the time. It was like we was learning from it, and we started to catch up in different things. When things happened, it accented.
Got it.
Like it gave me the theme for everything that I needed to write the right stuff. But he was already the lead because he creatively decided to do that and sharpened his skills before we actually got there. It was like, yo, okay, Nas was like the one,
the God.
Yeah, and then it was like the rest of us was like, because we Queens, it's all Queens, the same thing. So they don't look at us like it was one thing, but it was one thing.
Got it.
Straight up, like it's like individual success, but it's coming from one place. And it was like when that's happening, it's so impressionable on the rest of us. Like Nas' success, it changes Prodigy's approach, and Mobb Deep's success, it changes there. It changes what all of us is doing differently because we look and go, now we gotta make something that feels like this because this is crazy right here. Like this is like, it gotta feel like the actual environment when you hear it and the music. Look, I would watch like Nas ago. If you say he was upset with Mega,
Kwamega from Queensbridge.
They had some issues,
right? And
look, I had got shot, so I was away. I came back, and he was like, "Yo," he called me because he wanted to catch up with Holly. Mega girl at the time was like in the neighborhood, Holly, and her sister Rashida was with my man June. So I was able to make contact to get the number and to put that together.
Got it.
When that happens, I'm going, what? Like I get the phone call. This is like I just got shot and I'm not back out like that. Like you saying you need the number, I'm gonna go do it. I'll go get it. So I went down there and did it. And then when we didn't have communications, because what happened is Jennifer on the 6th, her first album, Corey Mooney was her executive producer,
right?
And we spent a lot of time around each other in the beginning of her career. So she, like, you see, she'll say 50, and you see me, and she'll run up to me, and people will go, "What the fuck did we miss? Like why is they so cool?" It's because the beginning.
That's what I was gonna ask you. So when you was like calling my house, asking to speak to Horse, just catching up, talking, you had no. I remember like this logo. There was like a 50-cent piece.
Yeah, it was a quarter.
It's like a quarter. Yeah. I'm like, who is this 50-cent guy? Like, what? How do you know him? And Horse would tell me. So you didn't have. This is before the big hit records.
Yeah.
Nothing. You didn't have anything.
Like, to look like this, we was at that point in our culture. You had to earn the respect of the culture. Like you had to be good enough for people to recognize you and say, "Nah, son has got some shit with him." Like other than that. You didn't just, it just didn't happen. Like, you know, like being signed to a major record company just meant, like, it didn't mean that you were actually going to make it.
Yeah.
It meant that you've earned the ability to possibly make it. You know what I'm saying? So when I was signed to Columbia, but it was like the things that I was approaching the release date, and they was dead serious going to release the album, and there was no momentum. That's why I did How to Rob.
Oh, wow.
When I did the How to Rob record,
I didn't know that.
Our culture, look, Nas, Jay-Z competition been going for so long that they going 20G bets, I'm winning them threats, I'm sending them Lex with 3 TV sets, the minimum, Ill Sex, Adrenaline, Party with Villains. Like, I could tell you CDs of Nas's, not verses, full CDs of their music because it was impossible for you not to study it. You couldn't make anything that was comparably as good without studying the things that were happening in the culture. And it's like, when they would do things subliminal, it was almost taboo to say someone's name.
It was.
So I said everyone's name, because the worst case scenario is you send me back to the hood, and I gotta face everything that's there. That's harder for me than to face them upset.
This is going to be a great conversation. It's the happy hour right here with me, HB. 50 is here. We hanging out. It's fly. There we go. Welcome to the happy hour right here at Sirius XM Fly. I'm HB. 50 is here. Y'all can clap. Show him some love. We're supposed to be talking about 50 Central, and we are going to talk about that because that's airing tomorrow on BET. Congratulations, by the way.
I'm turning them up. They're going to see a few things going to light up.
The
board right quick.
Yeah. But it's what you're telling me right now, I guess, because of our history. We never met before, but there was always this feeling. You used to call my house to speak to my fiance at the time. We ended up getting married. We ended up eloping. Okay, so I only would hear about you through this logo. And it's like, yo, 50's my man. He was the one that called and said, yo, Jay bigged you up on the record with to take over record. Yo, son, wait till you hear this shit. Jay bigged you up. I'm like, who is this 50 guy?
He had to do that, though. He had to do that because his horse verse stood out in the Uchiwali record to a point that he was like, because of the physicality, he made it, your security is better than you.
How did you hit? Go ahead. What you gonna say?
He had to do that. It was effective because the verse was right. Everybody was working, like he was coming with new stuff. Yeah. So it's like when you do that and you go, oh, it's like me. I did it later, same tactics. But it was with Jim Jones and Cam.
Yeah.
I'll go, yo, we like Jimmy better anyway.
And it was just
you can't say you don't like everybody. Right. Because then you just a hater. So you just say, that one right there, his shit better than yours, so get out of here with that shit. And it was good.
It's a great tactic.
So he's look, and they go, look, every time we all had different strong points. Abilities to do things better than each other in different ways. And then you would kind of look and study to see what do you do this better like? And then go, oh, I gotta do it like that. Or I gotta try something like this. So because we had got to a point that the writing became so complex in New York City hip hop that we were writing stories. I wrote a record where I was telling a story, recorded the record, I told the story, and then said, okay, now let me write it backwards. Now that it's playing in front of me and I got what it is, how do I write this online? Each line what happened, but backwards. So it's playing like a movie.
You took on but you took on so many people publicly that were you ever afraid that these tactics, so to speak, would backfire?
No, because we was really out there. So with
a laugh, okay. Am I the only one saying the laugh with a laugh?
No, because it was really out there. It's like it's a difference between, when you say if a person say they don't care and they genuinely are faking it or they're just saying it.
Yeah.
It's one thing when you look at those points we looking at things and I'm going like this. I don't care. I'd rather it just be over. So if it don't go the way I want it to go, then it is get rich or die in the process.
You regret any of it? Like any of them? Just be just me and you. You regret any of it?
Look, because there was really no beef. We didn't have legitimate grounds to be upset with each other, with me and Nas.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? It was just disappointment. It's disappointing in how the shit just played out because it was supposed to be bigger. Look at what I did with G-Unit. You see what I'm saying? Like he was bigger than that then. And the impression we just didn't develop it where he could have moved in a different way. Like it would have been formatted where if Nas had a G-Unit, I probably would have been in the G-Unit. At the time period because of that. The influence of the material, the creative energy would have drew you to it. Like if what we did later, it goes, watch what I do with them when they put me in position because then I can run with it. The business side of it, I've been selling drugs since I was 12. I'm hustling. That's what I'm doing. So if you put me in the circumstances where you think I ain't going to show up, I'm gonna disappoint you because I'm gonna show up every time. That's because I have to. I've always had to. You know what I mean? And with son like that, we had like Jungle, Wiz, everybody that like I see them later and like yo, he looking like I can't believe this nigga's dick right here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is going on? Like, you crazy? Like, we hung out.
Yeah.
It was like he took me on the first tour.
Nas took you on your first
took
tour?
me out on his Nostradamus promo.
So, are y'all friends now? What is the relationship?
We cool. I was when I was disappointed was like he could call me when he had the issue with Megan.
Okay.
And when after the fact, I had Jennifer call me, and she's the first person to call me back to work.
Oh wow!
So she wanted me to rap on a record with her, and I did a remix of a song with her.
By the way, he's saying Jennifer is J-Lo to the rest of the world. They're on a first name basis, but go ahead.
Yeah, so when we did that, like we did a record together, and then she had told Puff that he should work with me. So I wrote a portion of Puffy's verse that, make this money. Take this money. Ain't no way you can take this from me.
You wrote part of that?
Not guilty and I'm filthy. Come on. Yeah, so Jennifer had him reach out to get me to do that. So by the time I got to, by the time I get the record, I heard, Nas did something with Jennifer. Because what Irv did was he said, he used me against me. He went and told Tommy, like, this guy's really like that. So you don't understand, he's really going to do that. Like, what happens if he does something and Jennifer gets hurt? Mm-hmm. And they going, okay, Josh singing in the rain is safe. He's saying something that appears dangerous because of the actual, what I'm doing and saying is reflecting the actual energy that's going between me and Preem.
Right. Not
what Jai's doing on his rap song.
Right.
Because those things happen, and then he went up higher. He started selling more records. Because after that happened, because they looked at him and it kind of made, look, if you take your blessings and you turn it into something negative, because when he received the opportunity to have a record company, instead of just making it a record company, he called it The Murderers. And then brought the supporting cast around that would make it real. It's like saying, I'm going to create Death Row. I'm going to go make Death Row by bringing the usual suspects to be involved in some street energy into this new record company and just be the most feared record company.
So are you and Ja cool now?
No.
Ever a chance?
No.
Never. You can't say never. It's we going on 2018. I just learned tonight that Christmas is only 90 days away. You have no chance.
No. Like, look, when you try to take credit for something that somebody else was involved in, like, you've been extorted. Yeah. When they make reference to him as leave him alone, that's our food, you've been extorted. When you don't identify with it and you feel like you walking with a crutch like that, your support, like you got to be right. That's my man. He not gonna look. Don't nobody walk up to nobody and go in their pockets in the neighborhood, because that guy would be just a complete victim following that. That's not how extortion works. You got to feel like you need the person, and he's here for you and support you, giving it to him, but it ain't coming from your heart. Yeah, when you give it to him and it's not, I'm saying, let me hold that, I got this and that, and you like, nah, here. You didn't decide to just give that man that money from his heart. You gave it to him because
no, I get you and Ross.
I don't like that. I never did like that. The boy a cop. The boy a cop came in and did everything that he did in front of you, and our culture doesn't actually have to register. You know who's consuming it. It's not the actual neighborhood itself. We're the influencers. The guys actually buying the CD is in the suburbs, trying to understand it. It allows them to go on a safari where they're close enough to the animals without ever being in danger of being hurt. The circumstances to what we grew up under was a lot harder than the people who bought the CDs. They feel like they have an understanding of it now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not, they know the slang from the music, and it was almost separate languages. You could tell if they was from Queens or if they was from the Bronx or uptown in a different way. It's in the dress code. They had Prada shoes on in Brooklyn or Feli's. Yeah, Pumas and different things going on in Queens. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's like you would see that, and it's like those things turn into the influence of a large portion of our society now, because it's not even a music. It's not a musical choice. It's a part of your basic interactions today. Like you're gonna come across some hip hop music, and whether it resonates strong with you or not, you're gonna recognize some of the people who are part of it, because we've had so much success. So for whatever reasons, if they told me they just watch, no, I just saw the television show, and that draws their interest, because it may be an older demographic that decides to enjoy, like their aunties and their mother is watching the television show, but they're not saying it's lit. We was turned last night. What is that? Like, do you know that's the younger generation?
No,
This
I get
saying,
that.
using those terms, but they'll watch the television show and see it in a different way, where you can. It's repackaging. It's the same story we've been telling through music on film and television now.
Speaking of television, because they telling me I only have 2 minutes with you, and I got to get wrapped up that we done. Your show tomorrow night, BET. Congratulations. Power. Congratulations. In the future, your tour with Ja and
That's not gonna happen.
your tour with Ja and Rick Ross. Congratulations. Now, I can't wait to see you again. We'll have more time the next time. Thank you. You know, you were always very mannerable when you did call my house. I will say that. And it's good. Continued success. And come back again when we have more time.
Definitely.
All right?
You got the long show, 6 hours. I come out late night. We should talk, get it all out.
I know, but they're telling me that you have to go. That is the wrap up.
Right.
So I'll take that. All right. It's the happy hour with me, HB. More up next right here on Fly.